guys got me on this? Grant Cardone, hey, welcome to the final day of the 10X Money Challenge. The final day for you if you don't want to go further with me, if you deny me as your coach. The only way this is the last day is if you deny me as your financial coach, okay? My name's Grant Cardone. I am not a financial planner. I want to tell you that first of all. I'm not a financial planner. I respect all the financial planners on the planet, but I am going to give you financial advice. Y'all ever heard that before? I am a financial planner, but I cannot give you financial advice. I am going to give you guys so much financial advice tonight for free. And if you're just joining with me right here, right now, what are we doing? Okay, this is the 7th day I've spent with you on one topic, finances. We're going through the biggest redistribution of wealth in the history of this planet. If you guys are going to play by your mama and daddy's rules, buy low, sell high, or you're, oh my God, the market's topping out, I can't buy it. You don't understand. There has been $7 trillion injected into the U.S. economy that did not exist 24 months ago. You don't know what high is, okay? Because what you're doing is you're putting valuations based on when the money was this. The money stack was like this, right? And the asset values were like this. And then what happened was when you watch the board tonight, the magic board, I'm going to show you why when all of a sudden you got this much money now, where are the assets? You got to compare assets to where cash is. There's $7 trillion in equity in homes today, trapped equity. That's not the $7 trillion I just discussed that was printed the last 12 months of Donald Trump and then the first 6 months of Joe Biden. These two guys printed $7 trillion. Folks, you guys know how much money that is? So what we have right here, I think there's another 6 trillion. These are trillions now, okay? We got $7 trillion. 7 trillion. You're like, what is this?
People should just try to write that number.
You can't write it. You can't write it correctly the first time, okay? You just add 3 more zeros. When you get tired, just keep writing, okay? Okay, this is equity, trapped equity. I'm going to be talking about this tonight. Baby boomers. There's about 75 million baby boomers in this country, most of who control this. This will be passed on to millennials, but millennials have to wait and suffer and live on nothing and be baristas until they get this. And when they do get it, the timing's probably not going to be right. What we could do, Gramps, Grandma, Grandpa, uncles, aunts, moms, and dads, what you could do is you could go get the future right now, grab it, put debt on it, write off the debt, grab the money and start helping your kids now. Learn now while they can now. I need money when I'm 25, not when I'm 75. We got it all backwards. So you got 7 trillion in trapped equity. Cash in accounts, cash in bank accounts, CBA, okay? There's probably another 6 trillion. That's without counting the black money, the dark money, the what's it called? The shadow money, okay? And then there's one other, retirement accounts, okay? I think there's $5 or $6 trillion sitting in the retirement accounts. So you got all this money sitting trapped doing nothing. It's not really doing nothing. It's just doing nothing for you. Because the people that have your money, your trapped equity, your cash accounts, your money markets, your retirement accounts, which is another, I don't know, could be 10 trillion. I can't even write another zero tonight. There could be 10 trillion sitting in ETFs, mutual funds, 401ks, IRAs, and you guys got to sit there and wait 15 years to get it. When I was 51 years old, I told this story, I think Tuesday night, before I was bringing Magic Johnson up. When I was 51 years old, I had like a couple $1 million. I had 60 apartments, 160 apartments. I had a house in La Jolla, a house in Los Angeles. And I told my wife, 2008 came, I had all these problems. I had a little bit of debt, and the world went upside down. My 3 businesses started suffering. I couldn't sell any of my real estate. I couldn't liquidate anything. I couldn't move around, and I couldn't get income. The income from my businesses got cut. In the last 12 years, I have spent day and night committed to what is it I don't know. I had worked hard, I had saved my money, I'd paid my debts down, I was not living beyond my means. That's what Magic Johnson said, and Kevin O'Leary, don't live beyond your means. But the problem was I never leveraged into wealth. I was thinking small. I was brought up in this buy low, sell high mentality. Get cash flow, like 10 and 12 and 15% cash flow. These ideas, these old ideas, save your money, cash is valuable, prepare for the Armageddon so you can buy stuff when it's really cheap. I continued to do that for years, and I never took actions to build wealth. I worked in my company and not on my company. I was the main driver. I worked on net profit. My margins were more important to me than the top line. I had it all confused. I had discipline in my life, and that's cool. If you have the discipline, and I believe that more people have discipline in this country that don't. I actually believe, and I had I want to have this conversation with Magic one day and Kevin O'Leary. I actually believe that more people in this country suffer from financial discipline than don't. Those of you that are overspending, you spend $10,000 and you only made $9,000, that's a problem. Everybody knows that. But I think there's another group of people that actually make $12,000, spend $10,000 because they have to, or even $4,000, and they don't know what to do with the difference. And if you never learn what to do with the $8,000, the leftover, Annie makes $6,000 a month, all of a sudden she has a $17,000 month. If she does not learn what to do with the $11,000, but she's disciplined and she's scared and she holds on and she prays, that money will not grow. It will grow for the places she keeps it. See, this money right here is going to grow for the Goldman Sachs, the JP Morgans, the Morgan Stanleys. So tonight, this is the 7th night I've been with you. We had Monday night, we had Kevin O'Leary. Tuesday night, Sharon Lecter. Wednesday night, Magic Johnson. Stormy, man, she was amazing. Stormy Wellington was just like so much inspiration that anybody can do this. We had Jordan Peterson. Yesterday we had Chris Voss talking about negotiations. It's been a fantastic week. I've learned a lot. And I'm curious when I meet these people. What do you know that I don't know? And a lot of that's been added to what I knew, but it also solidified that to build wealth, you need to get around people that have built wealth, that are taking chances and risk. And there's different people that you can listen to. There's the coach that you can listen to. There's the CEO of a company you can listen to. There's the banker you can listen to, your uncle that became a millionaire. But you really got to ask yourself, what did they do? How did they make their money? How did they earn it? Okay, so tonight I'm going to spend about 30 or 40 minutes just going over some things with you I know are valuable to you, that will be valuable to you. You want to take notes on this. This is straight out of our book, our 10X Bootcamp interactive book. Okay, I'm going to give you a preview of what we're going to be doing. If you guys want to come spend 3 days with me doing this, the way virtually, I'll deliver it to you. No travel. I don't want you to spend any time on a plane. I'm going to deliver the 3 days. I need you to give me 3 days where only thing you're focused on, I can't do 3 days. Okay, but it's not 4 years. It's 4 years in college. I spent 5 years to go to college. In 3 days, in 20 hours, I will give you more information than you got out of your business degree.
Thousands of people have already signed up. So.
Okay. That website is grantcardone.com/virtual. It's $297. I'm going to give you the 10X Super Life. That's a $1,000 program. And I'm going to give you our Marketing Mastery program because if nobody knows you, they can't give you money. They don't know you exist. I'm going to give you both of these. Let me finish this. I'm going to give you both of these. And I'm going to give you our 5-hour professional mastery, negotiating, and closing program. That's what you wanted me to say, right, Jared?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to give you the 10X rule book as long as we got enough to send out. Signed by me. Okay, let me get in this. Jared, you want to say something else?
Yeah, I just want to say that what's really awesome about this event is it's fully interactive. Like when you normally come on like a live stream or something like that, or a feed or a Zoom call, the communication's typically one way. This is collaborative.
Yeah.
This is the only event that we have where we have as many people as we're bringing, and we break people up into breakout groups. So in addition to getting a ton of information, you're also going to have the opportunity to connect personally in breakout rooms with at least 50 people that you can make connections with to build out your network, because your network is your net
worth. And it's 5 at a time, so you can start connecting with the plumber, the chiropractor, the doctor, the real estate investor, and saying, hey man, what are you doing? How do you understand this? How are you going to implement this? How are you going to execute on this? See, right now, there's a one-way flow. There's me flowing at you. I would do this about 5 minutes and then break, do 3 minutes in an exercise like this exercise right here. Okay, I'll give you an example. Assets versus liabilities. What are they? You know, do you know that most people actually look at their net worth and include a house? A house is not an asset. A house should not be on your net worth statement. The reason it wouldn't be on your net worth statement is you have to go to another house and live someplace. When I learned that, okay, I was 46 years old and I was looking at my net worth because I was trying to get some debt, and that debt needed to be supported by my net worth, like it does today, by the way. I can't go get a $250 million loan without debt to support it or assets that will support that. When I had it, I said, man, I got my house on the net worth statement. I'm a pretty intelligent, educated guy, right? Financially. And the guy's like, no, we would never have your house as part of your net worth. I'm like, why not? It's paid for. And he's like, because you're going to leave that and go to another house. The moment I heard that, I'm like, dude, what am I doing owning a house? Okay, I am going to rent where I live, and I am going to own real estate that pays for my rent. I'm going to live in really cool places, safe, cool places, and I'm going to take the money that I use to buy my house and I'm going to convert that to an asset that pays for my liabilities, okay? So what's an asset, okay? Cash accounts are assets, okay? Now some people would say cash could actually be a liability. So anything that I write down here, I'm going to also ask you to look at, could cash actually be a liability for you? That's why I say cash is trash. This can be lost, it can be burnt, and if I leave it on this table long enough, I bet you somebody is nice enough to take it and put it in some safe place for me. That will not include me, okay? Because they'll be like, you know what, I need to make this safe, and I'm gonna bring it home, okay? So this, you know, I'm gonna give you some examples, like it could be stolen, it could be burnt, it could be cut up, it could be lost, it could be forgotten. You could put it in a pants, man, and you don't find it for 6 years, okay? And it's gone. Like, God dang, that happened to me before. I opened up a suitcase one day when I moved. I'm like, bang, I didn't know that was there. Well, the other thing that can happen, and this is happening in a big way right now, is D could hit it. Depreciation. This is what Warren Buffett called the invisible tax. Cash is being devalued. See, when you save cash and assets start accelerating, your cash becomes trash. The thing that's valuable is that asset, okay? Real property would be an asset, okay? Intellectual property, okay? This, by the way, is a lot easier to get than intellectual property. I mean, I guess you could go to GoDaddy and get GrantCardone.com. I know a lot of you have tried to get GrantCardone.com, GrantCardone.com, GrantCardoneEnterprises.com and sell it back to me. But if I'm not a buyer, it's not an asset.
Yeah.
For something to be an asset, you got to have a buyer. Some people consider a house an asset. And I can see why you would do that. I could see why you think cars are assets. And it could be. Clothes could be assets. Furniture could be assets. An office building could be an asset. There's a whole list of, my telephone could be assets, okay? What else could be assets? My customer base, my marketing, my goodwill, okay? These are things that would be assets. Is that mine or yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, what else could be an asset? IP, investments in other partnerships, okay? I own 50% of Cardone Ventures.
Precious metals.
Precious metals could
Jewelry.
be, ETFs, mutual funds, a retirement account, life insurance policy. These could be assets. Your kids could be assets. But many of these things, by the way, could also become liabilities. What you guys got to do is decide what's a liability and what's not, okay? So let me just give you a list of some things that could be a liability. Okay? Could this house become a liability? How could it become a liability? Okay, let's say I live in California. This is going on right now. And I'm a husband and wife. I'm a nurse. And my husband's a fireman, and I have 2 kids, and I'm religious, and I believe in I don't believe in vaccines, and my church doesn't believe in vaccines, or my God doesn't, or my understanding of spirituality, whatever, might not believe in that. Yet I'm a nurse, and I depend on $80,000 or $90,000 a year in income, and now my hospital is like, you got to get the vax, and I own a house. And my fireman, he's being forced too. The first responders are being forced. And they're like, we got a house and we got debt and we can't move. A house at that moment, because they want to move to Utah or they want to move to Nevada or they want to move to Arizona or to Florida where they're not mandating, this isn't political, this is just a scenario. The house now is a liability, okay? To the degree that that house cannot be sold and or liquidated, it could be a liability. Cash can be a liability. I want you guys to understand this, right? If you can't get it and use it, okay, it can become a liability. Friends could become liabilities. A business at some point can become a liability. I want you to write this down. Assets, all assets at some point will become liabilities, including the ones I'm buying every single day. You understand? When you grow a business, okay, you grow a business and you got a little lemonade stand and you got 20 people out there to buy lemonade from you once a month. No big deal, man. You go in, you get your money, no big deal, okay? That business starts growing and people start like, you got to be there Monday to Friday night, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You got to be there. I depend on you. I get my lemonade from you. Now you got to go get 2 employees. Now you got to get a better piece of property. Now you got property taxes. That business as it grows becomes a liability. As you get older, you might not want to do lemonade anymore. And you got all these people now that depend on you. You got 16 employees, right? You're paying your taxes. You got your payroll. See, as a business grows, construction people know this really well. Builders know this. As their business grows, they have to do new jobs in order to take care of the people that are riding with them right now, right? When a celebrity gets super, super successful, he goes from nobody knows him to superstar. All of a sudden, he's got to bring security with him, right? When you have kids, I got 2 beautiful kids with me. My kids are assets, and at some point, they become a liability. You know what I mean? They become a liability because I'm worried about them. I'm putting attention and energy on them. So not everything is physical. It's not everything can I touch. So I want you guys, one of the exercises to get really clear with your spouse, your mom, your dad. Where's your mom and your dad on this list? See, your mom and dad may be super supporters and assets until you want to go take a risk and they're like, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Papa went from being great papa, supporter, cheerleader, man, I'm all for it. You can do this, Jared, to like, you shouldn't do that. He became a liability. You understand? Just because somebody's done good in business does not mean, or been lucky in business, does not mean that they're an asset for you to go about creating wealth. And because the guys next door, The Millionaire Next Door, many of you read that book, The Millionaire Next Door. I do not recommend you read that book because that book is going to keep you a millionaire. And $1 million, I've never seen this not be the case. I've never met somebody that went from not having to $1 million where this didn't happen. Every time I've seen it happen, okay? Happened to me, happened to a whole bunch of people I know. They hit $1 million and they start suffering anxiety. What's his name talked about anxiety? He must have mentioned it 11 times. Jordan Peterson mentioned the word anxiety at least, had to be a dozen times, okay? Mm-hmm. Where he used this word when people are anxious. Then Chris Voss used it yesterday. Seems like you're feeling pressure from something, okay? Pressure from what, okay? I got this money now. Oh my God, what do I do with this money? Now I could lose money. See, when you're broke, you can't lose anything. You're really dangerous when you're broke. And I'm going to talk to you tonight about how never to be broke. There is a way, and the reason I took Undercover Billionaire was I knew the closer they got me to zero and the more pressure they put on me, the more likely I was to be able to hit my target. Listen to me. How would you like to wake up every day knowing you didn't need anything? No money and no time. And you could still create wealth in a town where no one knew you. See, that's what I did on that show, and that was documented. There was cameras there every second of every day. There's nothing produced on that show. Nobody can ever take, no matter what anybody dogs me on. I'm like, hey, bro, go look what I did in 90 days. $5.5 million business, documented by a third party, complete production crew right there, no help, no contact with Jared, my team. Help me out, give me a lead, put a deal together. It was evaluated by a third party, and all this happened during COVID. So you like me or don't like me, this isn't about me. This is
receipts.
About receipts, baby. That's what they call it. They call receipts. I remember Spectacular said, man, you got to get receipts, man, when you talk to my people. Okay? And I don't blame you guys. You should have receipts, okay? So look, there's a big difference between your assets and your liabilities, okay? If my friend Todd is in Boston right now, and he's got a house that he wants to get rid of, and he's going to be moving to Florida in 6 months. Mm-hmm. And he's got a house with a mortgage on it right now. And he knows he's coming down here. Well, you got time crunching him right now, okay? Because he's like, okay, the market's going up there. It's going up where I'm at. How do I find a buyer for my house and buy one over there? Everybody's going to have this problem where you stretch out. Well, you got to start taking some risk because you can't create wealth without taking risk. It's impossible. Scared money cannot grow. Scared money cannot grow. So anybody that's suffering from scarcity, insecurity, competition, if you win, I can't win. Any of you that are suffering, like literally, I know people that are like wrapped in a disease of insecurity. I remember when I competed with everyone, everything was a fight. Everything was an argument. Everything was like, if you get this, I can't have that. If you get big, I'm smaller. Today, I know this, man. You can win. You can get $1 trillion. That has nothing to do with whether I get $1 trillion. Mm-hmm. You can make a big score. There's infinite numbers of ways to get successful, and there's infinite number of successes. Anybody can make it. I truly believe that 100%. So look at your assets, look at your liabilities. Jared, let's just do this with Jared right now, okay? By the way, guys, you can get started on this tonight for yourself so that it's not me and Jared doing it. Jared's with me here. Jared's been working with me. How long, Jared?
11 years.
Jared, what was your net worth? What was your net worth now or today? What was your net worth?
Total.
Yeah. What was your net worth
when I started?
When you got here?
Minus 40,000.
Okay, he was negative $40,000. That's debt. That's not even terrible. But I guarantee his attention was on it. So guess what? How many of you out there, you got no assets? Did you have any assets at all?
No.
Car?
My mom's.
Okay, he had his mom's car. You should get in here. I'm going to do this little drill with Jared, okay? I'm going to be Jared's financial advisor. Okay. What are you worth today, Jared?
Probably 8 million.
Okay, good. He had a sales job. He was negative $40,000 in 2012?
Yeah.
Okay. Economy was garbage. We were just coming out, but nobody was really sure we were coming out. And Jared's coming to work for me. I don't know Jared. I don't trust Jared. I don't think anything of Jared. Jared has 0 skills, by the way, at the time, except for the ones. None. I mean, he was all right, but he'd spend time on. He didn't have my skill level yet. And we hadn't had this exchange, okay? He will end up becoming president of Cardone Training Technologies. But he didn't know that then, and I don't either. He's smoking weed.
Every day?
Every day. Would you put that in
Sure as the sun rises.
Would you put that in the asset or the liability column?
Big liability.
Okay, single. You were single at the time.
Yep.
A liability or asset?
That was an asset.
That you were single?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I hope she doesn't hear that.
No, I'm just saying it was an asset because when
Okay.
I couldn't have done what I did if I was.
Okay. Did you have a house at that time?
No.
Apartment. Was that an asset or a liability?
It was liability.
Because you rented?
I was renting.
I don't think that because if you owned, you couldn't have come to work for me.
It's an expense.
Yeah. But you got to live someplace.
Okay.
So I want everybody to understand this. Okay. Food is a liability, but you got to eat, man. If you don't eat, it's an asset. Food is an asset. Wherever you can get food from. Housing. Whatever you guys are paying for your housing, it's not a liability. You got to stay somewhere, dude. Okay? So we're working this out, okay? So watch. What were you paying a month, by the way?
$800.
He was paying $800. I believe that's an asset.
I was subleasing an apartment in Brentwood.
Yeah, okay. Now, were your friends assets or liabilities?
Liabilities.
Yeah, his friends were liabilities. Okay. And let's see. And where were you living at the time?
Brentwood.
Oh, he lived in Brentwood.
Yeah.
Okay, he lived in Brentwood. So I thought you moved from Austin. Okay.
Oh, well, I moved from San Diego to LA.
To work with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so
because I was in Austin before that.
Did you rent in San Diego?
Yeah.
Yes, because if he owned in San Diego and he had debt on his house, in 2012 the market was garbage. He could not have sold his house and moved to Los Angeles.
Crazy story.
Yeah.
I actually had a car when I was living in Austin, and I had like an $800 car payment, and I ended up totaling the car because I was driving drunk.
Yeah.
And if I wouldn't have totaled it and had the insurance company pay it off, I wouldn't have had the money to be able to move out to.
So was drinking
California.
An asset or a liability for you?
It was an asset at that time.
In this case, his car wreck was an asset. We do not recommend that for the most of the audience.
This is not a laughing matter. I can laugh.
Yeah, but you got away with it, right? Yeah. So let's look at Jared. Jared's 26 years old at the time. Okay, he's negative 40,000. He doesn't really have a job.
Terrible head of hair.
He doesn't have.
The hair was, it was all over the place.
You got a picture of Jared back then? Johnny, can you find that?
Oh my
and his life was a bit of a liability. Okay, when I was 25 years old, I was just like Jared, $40,000 in debt, smoking weed every day. I didn't have the right people around me, man. Wouldn't listen to the people that wanted to help me. Like I was a knucklehead, thought I knew everything. But Jared had something that I had. He had something in his stomach that says, I can do better than this. Did you have that at that time?
100%.
Desire. I got desire to do better. Now, that's not something you put on a financial statement. When you guys go to a bank, don't put on there desire. It's worth something, okay? Mm-hmm. But to get to the bank, you need desire, okay? So now, Jared was also willing to learn. It's not something you can put on your financial statement, but we had a lot of cleaning up to do here, okay? So the first thing I told Jared to do, and for all of you out there that had debt, I'm going to talk about debt here in a second, good debt and bad debt. Do not chase the debt down in the beginning. I know you want to catch up with it. O'Leary said, get rid of all that bad debt. Dude, I would not do that. You're playing defense. For Jared to go forward, Jared has to keep his attention on going forward. In football, many of you are watching football right now. You fumble the ball, you lose it, you give it to the other side. You don't try to fix that. Man, you go on defense, try to get the ball back, run your plays. So I would not tell you guys that you got 24% debt, and we'll do this in the Q&A. But Jared, there's Jared. Dude,
wow, look at that. That's very coiffy.
Yeah, it's very coiffy.
It's very coiffish.
Okay. It's the Young Hustler shows where that's good, Johnny.
That was actually, you could have done a lot worse, Johnny.
You could have done a lot worse.
You could have done a lot worse.
Yeah. So he was drinking that night. I could tell by he's got that buzz look in his eyes. So this is what we did. We got Jared off the weed, and we got his focus. We got his focus on, hey man, what's your target? Okay, what's the target? And the target was, we looked at the assets, the new assets that he got by working for me. He could have gone and worked for himself. Being an entrepreneur is a desirable thing, right? So I said, look, man, let's make an asset list. I got a list of customers here, thousands of them that know me, okay? These 1,000 customers, while they can't hit your net worth statement, they can fund your wealth, okay? So you got to get clear on the target. What was your first target with me, Jared?
$250,000 a year in income.
Okay, $250,000. We got to clear that income target up. Oops. Okay.
40 apartments.
40 apartments.
And Mercedes-Benz S-Class.
And a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, okay? So first thing that happens, everything I do in my life is about a target. Are Elaine and I clear on the target? Is Sandy he clear on the target? If you're a spouse, it gets more complicated because everybody's got their own little agenda going on. So you guys got to sit down with the people in your life, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, brother, sister, whoever's hanging out with you, your kids. The 3-year-old, the 6-year-old, I'm telling you, you can't go too young on this and sit down and say, these are our targets. Okay? So Jared, should we put time on that 250? What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We want to put a time, man. I got, 12 months to hit the 250. So I'm going to sit down with Jared and I'm going to say, okay, bro, this is what you got to do. First of all, in the state of California, you got to make $600,000 to walk away with 250. You got to make 600, okay? I want him thinking bigger than that 250 because he's going to come up short. 600K. Now, I have the money to pay you the 600K, but we need to produce at that time, Jared, what? You were making 10% or 20%? 10. You need to produce $6 million worth of contracts. $6 million worth of contracts. The average contract you're going to sell is $30,000. You need 200 contracts, 18 a month. Okay? That's 4.5 contracts a week. I think you need, Jared, to contact at least 45 people a day in order to get these 4.5, okay? And Jared's like, okay, that's an asset. In the beginning, it's all in the head. Once Jared starts doing this and he produces 250 and finds out it's only 125, then the cash becomes an asset. So Jared does this. What do I do with this 125? Okay, I told you this on Monday. Do not change, and he never did. He dropped the Mercedes out for a while.
Yeah.
When did the Mercedes come?
I just got it recently.
10 years. Okay, he literally delayed the Mercedes for 10 years. And what we started doing in here, this is really, really important for everybody to know. When you're doing target attainment, you will never, ever have the right list of things. You will always come up short. Chris Voss talked about this as well. Okay? And so the 125, Jared's like, okay, I got cash. What do I do now? And I'm like, well, we need to cash right now this 2012, needs to get multiplied. So Jared started making moves. Actually, back then it was probably 4X. And I happened to be investing in real estate, and Jared's like, hey man, is this real estate stuff a good deal? I said, dude, look, I guarantee it. I mean, look what I'm doing every day. I said, I take all my cash, Jared, and I convert it to a real asset. So I take this that can be burnt, okay? It can be blown away, it can be stolen, it could be lost in a storm, to an emergency, it can be lent to mom and dad. Okay, you guys that are planning for emergencies, you know what you're planning for? You're planning for the thing, you're gonna fund the emergency because you funded it in your head. Like, I have a legal account. I don't have an emergency account. Here's a legal account. This account every month gets funded for the punk that's gonna sue me. Okay, I know it's coming. It's just a fact of life, okay? I have insurance for my hurricane, or I self-insure on the hurricane. On the plane and the helicopters, I have money that goes into an account to pay for the engine 8 years from now that it's going to need. So you fund those specific activities. Jared, I said, Jared, why don't we just go ahead and start funding these deals whether we have the deals or not? We'll start parking 125. Now there's a funny thing that happened to Jared. Jared literally is like, how much of the 125 should I do? And what did I say?
All of it?
Every penny, bro. And see if you can call your dad and get 10 grand from your dad. All of it. There's a thing called a suck out, okay? Now, some of you are going to find this like, man, this is the worst advice you could ever give anybody, okay? I'm telling you, this is not about protecting money. This is about wealth creation. Just keep in mind that what the advice I'm giving you guys tonight is not how to be reckless. It is how to be extremely disciplined and how to parlay to wealth, not income. Jared has now substantiated he knows how to discipline himself to make income. What was your first year?
$89,000.
Second year?
242.
Third year?
314.
Fourth year?
404.
He knows, and he knows. How many of you don't even know what you made last year? He knows what he made the first 4 years with me. You're unconscious. You lose the target. You give up. You quit. You're getting beat up every day. You should know every single penny you make from every different source, and you should know that all the time. Because if you don't know, you can't control it, okay? And these targets go away in your minds. They go away in my minds. What's the target? Me and the wife, what's the target? When we argue, it's because we lost track of our targets. So we end up in these little dumb things. So now Jared's parking dough, okay? What do you have it just with me right now?
3.7 million, I think.
3.7 million. What do you have in cash accounts right now?
Probably 180.
The 3.7, he thinks it's worth 8. I think it's worth 12. Okay? His income's worth nothing. You understand? The money he made then is gone. It's zero. It's been deflated by the U.S. government for the last 10 years. Who knows what it's worth? The 125 he made then is probably worth 60,000. The assets go up in value, okay? He basically did exactly what I told him to do. Trade time for money, Jared. Call the list. Make the phone calls every day. And he did. Okay? Build the list, Jared. Be responsible. Be accountable. Be disciplined, dude. Get good at this job. He gets elevated in his main job because of what he's doing every day. And he's being extremely disciplined in taking money and getting money to produce, which is brilliant, to produce a second flow over here, which is the biggest asset he has in his life. For him, his family, Jake, Jordan, Sandy, okay, his mom, his dad, if something happened to Jared right now, everybody understand your main income. He's going to earn way more than $125,000 this year. So Jared's going from, what will you earn this year? Can we tell people?
Probably 2.5.
Okay. He went from making 125 grand a year, this is called the suck out, to $2.5 million a year. Okay? The suck out basically suggests this. When you have money in an account, okay, and you get disciplined with money and savings, reserves, most of you out there, this is your biggest problem. You have the ETF, the mutual funds, you got the retirement account set up, you got this little cash account, the money, you got some money in a wall, Johnny. Okay, you got all these little savings accounts set up. You got the cookie jar, and you're like, okay, I got all these little things. Like, if you sucked all that money out, you guys have a thermostat, built-in thermostat that says, I got to go replenish those reserves as fast as possible. And that is why Jared's income has gone from 125 to 2.5 million. I'm telling you, it is because he does not keep cash in accounts. Okay? When he takes this money and puts it in a Wells Fargo account and fills that up, if you look at what they do with it, they lend it out. They don't lend it out 9 or 10 times. They lend it out 100 times. They lend it out 10 times and then could do that 10 times. Okay? So they lend it out. They get rid of it because they don't want it sitting around. As soon as it comes in, it gets pushed out. Okay? When Jared says this and he thinks he's secure because of this, I'm talking to you guys that have cash accounts. Your cash account has become a liability because it's not working for you, okay? When he sits it here, it gives him the idea that he can back off of the calls, and he never increases his ability to go from 45 calls to 450 calls to 4,500 calls to 45,000 calls. When he started dumping out, okay, and saying, hey, that's not gonna go to Wells Fargo, that's going to go buy me $375. That's going to go buy me $500,000 worth of real estate. That's what his first deal bought him. Okay. Now the money's gone. He can't eat on it. He can't pay the rent. He can't go on a date on it. Can't pay a car payment. So what does he have to do? He's got to figure out how to increase his income. So his next check. What was your next check? 250. He doubled up.
The second one.
The third one. The third one.
89, 242.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he went from 89, tripled his income in 1 year. On a suck out, he took all his money, gave it to me. It becomes illiquid. See, I just want to tell you guys that, man, liquid cash in the beginning, I'm not talking about if you're worth $80 million. Liquid cash in the beginning can be a liability, not an asset. If you got 80 million sitting around, you're like, okay, I'm gonna keep 20 of it liquid. I gotta keep invested on the rest of it. If you weren't invested since COVID, if you had all cash since COVID or even 2012, if you were just sitting on cash, you'd be a wreck right now.
Yeah.
Okay, your money was completely violated, raped and pillaged because you weren't invested.
And the assets that people would have invested in during that period of time.
Yeah, these assets explode during times of
skyrocketed,
inflation, okay? We're going through this massive inflate moment right now, okay? So liquidity can actually not be your friend. And your wife, your spouse is gonna, man, they're gonna have a problem with this. They're gonna be like, we gotta have cash. Your moms and dads are gonna be like, I gotta keep cash around. My sisters do this. They're like, but what if something happens? Okay, well, how much money do you think you need? I mean, when's the last time you went out and spent 200 grand on a weekend? No, you need 2,000. You need an emergency. You know, what does something cost? A generator costs $4 grand. Okay, so keep $4 grand around, or just go buy the damn generator. Get the generator. Don't save the money. You understand? Actually, the generator would be worth more than the cash.
Probably.
Go to one of these countries like Venezuela, Argentina, where they're having massive inflation. So watch what Jared does. Jared takes the 125, dumps it into an illiquid asset. This is what I've been recommending all week long. Kevin O'Leary did it. Magic.
I got to tell you, when I wrote that check too,
dude,
and I got my first, because I never had 10,000 in the bank before, and so I remember I wrote that first check, and I was getting $800 a month, and I was like, that wasn't a good trade.
Yeah,
because I had given up such a big chunk of money.
He got $625 in a month. Okay, he gave up $125,000 in cash, a bunch of dead Benjamins. Look like this, sitting in an account. He can't even touch them. Can't touch them, can't hold them, can't sleep with them. It's not like Pablo's money. Pablo's money, at least he could go burn it. You guys can't even get your $125,000 from the bank. Go ask the bank for $125 grand. I guarantee there'll be 3 days to get it to you. Okay? So you're saying when you got that first check, you're like,
I was like, oh, that wasn't a good deal.
That was a shit trade.
I'm like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
But I had enough awareness to go, this is not about one deal, it's about a commitment to this. And then what actually started happening was my earned income targets dropped away, and I started having passive income targets.
Yeah. So what he's saying right here, he went from focusing on earned income to focusing on passive income. And this is what drives the suck out. Okay, he's like, 125, I put it over there. It pays me $625. Oh, bad trade. But he didn't spend any time to get it.
And then 6 months later, I got 40 grand back. You wrote me a check, and I didn't have to pay tax on it.
I walked in less than a year later and said, here's 40,000 from that investment, from the 125. What do I do with that? I know what I would do with it.
Let it ride.
I would put it back in another deal. I'm winning, man. See? So you can't win with cash, folks. You can't win with cash. And you can also not win if you don't have a vehicle to push into.
And another thing too is like I was committed to the long game. And so I wasn't over qualifying or over evaluating every deal. Like I'm doing this. And some deals perform better than other deals. Like if I wouldn't have invested in Harbor Breeze, that
garbage that I bought.
I put 140 grand in that deal. I've been paid almost 600 grand on that deal.
Yeah.
With no tax, and we still own it.
So what is your passive income today?
$17,000.
Okay, so this is a period of 10 years, folks. If something happened to Jared today and he couldn't work tomorrow, he would still get that. He would not get his paycheck from the other job. The $2.5 million will disappear. Everybody's income here will disappear. You will be laid off from your job. They will quit paying you at some point. Cardone Enterprises, Cardone Trading Technologies will quit paying me at some point in time. I drop dead, bang, that's over. The real estate, real assets that produce passive income. This is why insurance companies are so rich. The wealthiest companies on planet Earth, what are they? Insurance companies? Trillions of dollars. These aren't Mark, this isn't Mark Cuban money. This is where Mark goes to get his money. You understand? This is where Warren Buffett's biggest score was AIG. Okay? AIG has all the money in the universe. They're one of the richest corporations in the world. In 2010, they were saved by the Federal Reserve, saved because they were so big to fail. They're like, we cannot let this company go down. Too many families depended on it. They literally distribute money for pension funds, firemen, and policemen. Like, this is a big deal right here. You've got to learn this part of the game. So, who has all the money? Insurance companies have money. Who else would it be? It would be,
Banks.
Banks would have all the money. Okay. How about the...
Apple's got a lot of money.
Apple's got $300 billion in cash, $280 in cash, and they don't use their cash to purchase their stock back. Why do they buy their stock back? Because their stock is an asset. So look what they're doing. They got this pile of cash this big. This is who you should be studying, wealthy companies. They have this pile of cash worth $280 million. And they're like, we could use this to repurchase our cash, our stock. And they're like, nah, don't do that. Go borrow money from Japan at 0.025%. They're borrowing money for less than the Treasury Department trades it to the government, okay? And they're like, we'll rebuy our stock, okay? So that there's less stock. If there's less stock, what happens? The value of the stock explodes, not because they're doing better, and they are, but because there's less stock to sell, right? They control their asset class. And this is what you guys should be doing. You should be earning your income, getting better at your job, okay? Figuring out how to produce more income. Like, we didn't talk enough about that this week. You cannot, and this is what Jared did, so you guys don't miss it. Jared produced 125 grand.
I mean, my income increased at least 100 grand a year.
Yes.
Every year.
Yeah, and because he got rid of it. See, when you guys save it, your income doesn't go up. I don't exactly know what the thing is. I call it a suck out. It's a vacuum, okay? You get disciplined to save money. You save 125 grand. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to get rid of it. You get rid of it. It's almost like a thermostat has been set at $125,000. So Jared's internal financial thermostat is set. He's disciplined now and says, hey, my life is not cool. It's not good if I don't have $125. So what does he do? He goes and hustles. He trades time and contacts to fund his passive income. And this is why so many people are not motivated, okay? This guy's gone from 40,000 negative in 10 years to what?
12 million.
$12 million, okay? $12 million worth of assets that come hell, high water, or COVID will continue to produce passive income for him each and every month. When COVID hit and we were terrified, I came back, we were all freaked out of our minds. I said, Jared, the company's going to go to shit. Nobody's ever going to buy anything from us again. The world's over. Nobody's going to buy books. And Jared's next question was, how's the real estate going to do? Right?
Everybody's going to keep paying their rent.
Okay. So look, thank you, Jared. Appreciate that. Yeah. You guys got to get a couple different stools. Okay. You got to get some stools underneath that. You got to get some legs underneath your stool.
But, more important than just one last thing, more important than investing in those deals, because that is the activity that produces the result. It doesn't happen without income.
Yes.
And so the thing that I picked up from you, very first thing was the money. Like, I started learning all this stuff about money, about goals, about targets. I started watching what he was doing because I had like a front row seat to see the moves that he was making. The second thing that I had to do was I had to figure out, now that I understand how much money I actually need, I had to learn how to go get it. And that's when I really dug all into your material and started going deep.
Because you had to.
Drilling, role-playing, because I knew that was the only thing that was going to get me to more money.
To 625 being 1,800 to being 2,800 to being 28,000. See, it's a game you got to play with yourself. If you're not, and nobody knows how to stay motivated. I'm telling you. This is the number one question I get. How do you stay so motivated? Dude, because I play a game with myself. If I earn $1 million after taxes, okay, I used to sit on $1 million. I have been through this already, folks. Some guy called me an old guy today. I said, yeah, I am older than I was. And I'm glad I'm not as young as you are. Because I know some shit, bro, you don't know yet. Okay? And if you keep talking like that, then you're never going to know that because you think you know everything. And I remember when I knew everything, okay? And I used to sit on this dough. And this dough will not grow if you sit on it. If you hoard money, it can't grow. If you wait for the next reset, and we're in it, I don't know what you're waiting for. This is it, baby. Party's happening, and you're at the table, and you're not paying attention. Oh, everything's too high. You forgot that $7 trillion was printed. That means there's been no asset appreciation based on the $7 trillion. You guys forget, okay? You walked into the park and the tickets were $80 and all of a sudden everybody said, everybody's a billionaire in the room, okay? And now they're like, tickets are double, okay? Well, that don't catch up with everybody being a billionaire in the room. The Dodgers are now worth $6 billion overnight. When people thought that they had overpaid for them a few years ago. Magic talked about that. So watch what happens. When I got $1 million after taxes sitting around, I go to zero. This is how I created wealth in 12 years. Just look at the Houston Chronicle article, okay? They didn't get it wrong. So I have $1 million. I took the entire $1 million and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a $4 million asset. And that asset, that property, that real property is going to pay for where I live. I am not gonna go buy a place to live and pay for it. I'm gonna go buy property or businesses that pay for my lifestyle. That $4 million. I looked at my assets. I had some cash, what I just went over with you. I had a house, and that house had $15 million worth of trapped equity. I brought this up earlier. I went to my wife. I said, baby, we got to make some changes. What I've been doing got me where I'm at. I got a fancy car. I got a nice watch, a couple nice watches. Everybody thinks I'm the shit. But look, we are not wealthy. We are, at best, marginally rich. And terrified every day I go to sleep. I'm worried about losing everything. I had a lawsuit, man. I had a bank going down. I had the economy was shit. I was freaking terrified every day, stressed out of my mind. I said, I want to sell the house, and I want to sell the house, and I want us to go move some other place where we pay less in taxes, and I want to invest the entire equity amount in the new deal, okay? I think at that time, that house sold for $18 million, and I had what did I have in equity? I don't know. Maybe
$5. I think you sold La Jolla for $7 million.
I think I had $12 million in equity. Yeah. And I took the $12 million, and guess what I did with that? I bought a $58 million purchase.
And rented.
And rented where I think we rented for $7,000 a month. And you're like, oh my God, your life's terrible. Renting for $7,000 a month. It was, dude, $7,000 a month, and I was renting. It was terrible to me. Everything I'd ever been taught was own your house, don't pay the landlord. Well, guess what? Okay, this $58 million was going to give me a check every month. This $4 million was going to give me a check every month. This is going to give me a check every month. Okay, and I sat over here and paid rent. Why did I want to pay rent when I first moved here? I went from LA to over here. I did not want to take care of a house. I didn't want to paint cabinets. I didn't want to paint anything. I wanted my full asset attention, all my attention and creativity on one thing: production, contacts. Exactly what I told Jared to do. Hey, bro, stay broke. Being broke is an asset, not a liability. All you guys out there like, I'm broke. You ain't broke if you got heart and you got motivation and you got drive and you got a target and you won't quit, you can't be broke. Listen to me. It is impossible to break the person that will not quit. Okay? If you don't have any money, so what? That might be better for you. My friend Damon John talked about this in
Power of Broke.
The Power of Broke. The Power of Broke is, I don't know anybody. If I don't know anybody, what do I got to do? I got to go make contacts. Money is a contact sport, okay? Who's got my money? That's where that came from, that battle cry. Go ahead.
This is what we're going to be talking about, all this stuff?
Yeah, this is what I'm going to spend 3 days with you guys, okay? I'm telling you my situation. This is what you guys do. You guys watch this and you're like, okay, yeah, but what's this got to do with me? I need to get you into this workbook. I need to get you and your spouse, Todd and Gina, okay? I need to get Mike and Shelly into your workbook, into the exercises, so we can go over your money, and you guys are sitting in your kitchen where you're comfortable, and I say, okay, open your checkbook, okay? Go to your Wells Fargo account right now, and I want you to pull up the last 90 days, what it costs you to live. That's your expenses. Good, I want you to tell me what was your drop in the last 90 days. Hey, we earned $30,000 in the last 90 days, and we spent 24. Good. Where's that $6,000 at? That's all I want to know. Good. Where are we going to do with that $6,000? I'm saving that. For what? For it to be worth $2,000? For your mama to come ask for it? You know, people don't ask people that don't have money for money. That's why I don't ever keep any money anymore. I learned this in 2012. If you got money, the bank will seize your assets. Okay, the people that sue will only come after people with money. They do not come after people with assets, because you cannot liquidate assets that quick. So when you keep cash around, what happens is you're exposed to lawsuits, vulnerability, stealing, thievery, and help the family out, and you feel so bad, so you do. This is what happens to the ball player. Makes a bunch of money, buys his mama a house. Busts his ass for 5 years, and then goes to his mom at the end of the 5 years, Mama, I got to sell the house. Because he couldn't keep it, because the income stopped, okay? So I want to show you guys where you can start parking money. Maybe you're not a real estate person and you don't want to invest in that asset. Well, what about buying a business? What about buying customers? I wouldn't go start a new business today. What I would do is take my cash and go find a business of some old guy that's tired of his business. He's already got 250 clients that go there. He branded the company, but he hates the business now. He's not servicing his client anymore. He spent millions of dollars of advertising in that location for long periods of time, and you just walk in and take the company over and blow it up. Those companies are all over America. We just got to figure out, we got to get you and the wife on the same page, you and the husband on the same page, because if you don't, you're just going to keep repeating this, I'm going to work, I'm going to save money. The website's grantcardone.com/virtual. Comes with this workbook, these 2 bonuses, marketing mastery, because if they don't know you, they won't flow you. And it comes with the 10X Super Life. And I added yesterday, Grant Cardone Money and Marketing Masterclass. Because when you start making these moves, folks, you got to negotiate. Okay, when you start using debt correctly, you will be negotiating. The website's grantcardone.com/virtual. It's only $297. It's a $2,700 savings with a $2,500 bonus of the Money Marketing Mastery Program, and the 10X Rule autograph for you as long as supplies last. And it gets you set up now. So you're going to click the button. You're going to buy it, and then I'm going to deliver these 2 programs, and you're going to start doing the exercises I did with Jared. I'm going to be your coach for 21 days, and then 3 days in October 22nd, 23rd, 24th, I'm going to shoot you a link, and we are going to spend 3 days live. What is it, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yes.
And we're going to go over this. your numbers. Okay. Well, hey, Grant, Jared, you want to say something?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say like the thing. Can I actually write something on the board?
Yeah, sure.
Let me just write something on the board because now you're talking about my story. I'm
wanna
going
cover
back.
yourself?
I'm just going back and I'm thinking through like what happened. And so the first thing that happened for me, the very first thing, and you and I have talked about this before.
Every page is ready. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Is that you and I were both financially motivated. Like, we were financially motivated, but I didn't know about money.
Mm-hmm.
And so the very first thing that I had to do was I had to figure the money thing out. And that is what you helped me with. I got proximity like these folks have right now in a way I didn't, because there wasn't social media with a bunch of people that were telling people how to go make money.
There was no
social
Zoom.
media was
No
just
Zoom then,
it
yeah,
was just
yeah.
starting, right? So once I got my head right about money and I started thinking bigger and I started having goals and I started reverse engineering the math to get to the income targets that I wanted to hit, the next thing that I had to do was I had to figure out how to sell. Like, I had to go acquire money. And whether you like this word or not, if you want to go out and get the things that you want in life, it requires that you go talk to people. And it's really not a difficult thing to do if you know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. I knew how to talk to people, but I didn't know that there were exact steps that you could follow that literally made sales easy. It made selling something that was not this nasty, dirty, grindy fight, conflict. Like, it's like, do this, and this. Do you want to buy or not?
Yeah.
And doing that in volumes and getting better at it to where you could actually convert people. Then
That's that who's got your money.
Who's got my money? Then what we had to do is, as I started selling more and more, I realized that we needed to start promoting what we were doing as a company in a different way. And so we started tinkering with all this stuff with marketing. And that is the thing that actually started creating a lot more opportunities for us to go out into the marketplace and reach new people and then get new leads. And then we started, the acceleration of revenue started increasing a lot. We started leveraging these social platforms in ways that everybody said we were wrong to do, by the way. All of the experts, when we started doing this, were saying, Grant Cardone is the example of what not to do on social media. That's how bad it was, right? But we just kept pushing.
What have we spent in marketing in the last 10 years?
Probably $200 million.
Yeah.
A lot. So money started changing. Then I was like, I got to go get money.
Forced to go find out who. It's really a contact sport here. It's who can help replenish.
And it's really, again, it's a simple thing. It's not complicated.
No, it's not.
And then how do I amplify the message? How do I get to more people? You got to figure this marketing thing out. And then, again, my targets, because my targets were in line, I realized that sales and just marketing were not going to get me to the promised land. So we had to figure out this fourth thing called scaling. How do you start scaling your activities? We started having to hire people. We started having to build new departments. We started having to think about our products and our offers in a different way. We started to create new products. We started creating a lot of inventory so we could serve different types of people. And then we went from 15 employees to 30 employees to 45 employees to 60 employees. And this is the thing that we are continuing to play on now. So it's like, you're operating in first gear in a car with the money mindset, but you'll never grab second unless you learn how to sell. And then what you have to do in second gear, if you want to get the car to get moving even faster, is you have to figure the marketing game out. And then when you really want to start multiplying, and that's how I started getting $200,000 in new income every year.
This is where he gets elevated
It started multiplying to where my income swung $1 million a year in 2 years because we figured out this piece. The scale piece. How do you start leveraging people around you? How do you start making, and really, this is like what Brandon is teaching in Cardone Ventures is really this fourth and final component. And these exact four things, the things it took me 11 years to figure out, we're putting together in 3 days in our interactive boot camp. Literally all 3 days, we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about money. We're going to be talking about sales, easy sales strategies that you can use to get in front of anybody and get them to say yes. And then we're going to tell you how to amplify your brand and your product so that every time somebody that even is a potential customer thinks about doing business, they're thinking about you. And then how do you scale yourself? How do you scale your own activities? Who's the first person that you hire? Like, if you're a solopreneur and you're feeling this grind out of like, I'm doing everything, like, how do I get out of this? You have to know the first person to hire. It matters. You have to know the third person to hire. It matters. And there's a systematic way that you do this. And we're going to be covering this all 3 days at the Interactive Boot
And we
Camp.
want you to be there, okay? We want you to be there.
GrantCardone.com/virtual.
And this week has been awesome, and it's been great. And I want to be sure we get some Q&A time, okay? Because along the way, this is a perfect example of what Jared's talking about. I'm going to bring scale down here, okay? This is 10X down here. You guys, some of you just think 10X is some kind of motivational mantra. It is not, okay? This is a physical manifestation of an idea. Hey, I want to make $1 million. Great. Once you make $1 million, I guarantee you, if you do this right, you'll use the $1 million to go sell $10 million worth of clients. When you do that, you will learn how to market to 100 million people, $100 million worth of clients. If you want to help $1 billion, if you want $1 billion, you got to go help 1 billion people. We've all heard this before, right? Well, the truth is, I'd rather 1 billion contacts than $1 billion. Now, I know that's hard for you guys to think with, but I know how to convert 1 billion people into $10 billion. The only people that wouldn't answer that correctly, I'd take my $1 billion right now. And look, you offer me $1 billion, it's going to be hard for me to trade that for people.
100,000.
$100,000 or 100,000 people? What do you want? Qualified people, what do you want? Because once you make it in $1 billion, like, I'm taking my $1 billion, I'm good, I'm out of here, okay? And I get it, right? But 100 grand, because $1 billion in net worth, your life, everything starts to change. Mm-hmm. Now things start happening that you didn't even think about. 100 grand or 100,000 people? Man, 100 grand is no money. Mm-hmm. I know if you're broke right now, if you're like, God, 10 grand would change my life. You're wrong. I know you don't want to hear it, but you're wrong. It will not change your life. You're just going to get scared now. Now you're going to realize how broke you are. I give you 100 grand right now. All you're going to realize is, shit, man, there ain't much difference between me and somebody without money. Because now you start becoming the breadwinner. That's why so many people end up broke that make a little bit of money. Oh, you doing so good, Drake, you doing so good. Give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. And the next thing you know, man, he don't have any money either. Because you're having to feed everybody, okay? See, I think, this is what I've always said, I think the selfish person is the middle class. I think the most selfish people are the middle class. The wealthy did not settle. They're like, no, I'm gonna blow this thing up. I'm gonna blow the top off this bad boy so I can help a lot of people. I think the wealthiest people, some of them could be selfish, but I think the wealthiest people on the planet, the ones that don't stop, that keep going, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, 1 billion, 10 billion. The big thinkers, they're like, man, I'm putting 10,000 people to work, 100,000 people to work. Those of you who settle for the car, the white picket fence, Jared could have stopped a long time ago, okay? He wouldn't be as valuable as he is. We wouldn't have the company we have, and he wouldn't have the investments he'd have. He'd have a little boat, a little house, and he'd be worried every second of every day. Yeah. He's putting himself and his family in a situation where, because we scaled, okay, now we went from 3 employees, I think across the board we have 700 between India, Arizona, the real estate, and right here in Miami, okay? We're helping a lot of families. We're not just thinking about ourselves anymore. So how do you do this, okay? First, okay, my money, what is my money target? Now, who's got my money? Who are the contacts? I talked about this in Undercover Billionaire. Qualified, able, and willing. If you would like to add 10 times the qualified, able, and willing, and know how to do that trick, go to grantcardone.com/virtual, grantcardone.com/virtual. I'm going to teach you how to get qualified, able, and willing people to want your products and services. Okay? Then we're going to show you how to market to those people. Folks, we have spent $200 million to sell $1.2 billion over the internet. I have to be in the top, not counting the Amazons and the Facebooks and the Googles, individual people to have produced that kind of revenue over the internet, selling products and services, webinars. Like we've done extremely well. I'm so proud of what our team has done. We provide unbelievable products. We have sold out the largest stadiums in the world Most profitable events, nobody questions that. They question whether it's 34,000 or 35,000 or 17,000 or 18,000, but they don't question they're profitable events, okay? In the world, no marketing company does what we do with our events. I'm saying that to say this. If I can sell a $20,000 seat online and nobody knew me 10 years ago, what can you do? When we started doing this, we did not have a Facebook account, an Instagram account, Clubhouse account, a LinkedIn account. I did not post a video on YouTube. I started playing this game when I was 51 years old. We've raised $700 million to buy $1.5 billion worth of real estate. It's the most money crowdfunded in the real estate space without a middleman. I got 5,000 investors, okay, that we send checks to every month. We'll send $3.2 million to our investors this month, $36 million this year without a bonus. If I hit my bonuses, if I hit what I think I'm going to be, probably going to be a bigger payday than that, probably 40 million. And so we're doing some great things here. Now, that don't help you. What helps you is me and you, the three of us. If your wife's involved or a partner, you got a CFO, like for $297, you and your CFO can come to this deal. You don't have to both buy one. You want to both buy one and support me? Cool, but y'all can watch this thing together. And I would strongly advise that you and your wife or you and the team watch this together. Jerry?
I mean, dude, there's no risk. If at the end of the 3 days you're like, oh man, that was terrible, that was horrible, I didn't learn anything, you know,
like
there's
how much?
There's 100% risk-free guarantee on
$297. I'm going to donate 100% of it to my foundation, the Grant Cardone Foundation. We'll help 30 kids, 29 kids. I'm exaggerating a little bit, 29.7 kids, okay? We're going to find some 0.7 kids somewhere. I'm going to give you 3 days, okay? For 3 days, I promise you, the only thing we'll be talking about is this: money mindset, exact targets. You got to figure out the target. I can't give it to you. Is it $1 million, 10 million, 100 million, or $1 billion? Let me just ask you this right now. Okay, what's your target? Your lifetime target, your 10-year target, and before the end of the year target. October, November, and December. I got 3 months. I got the same amount of time to work with you that I did on Undercover Billionaire. What is your 3-month target? Before the end of the year, what is your 10-year target? Let's do a 5-year target, a 10-year target, and then a lifetime target. You got to tell me what that target is. That's where everything starts. What's your target? What's your income target? What is your net worth target? If you tell me your net worth target is $100 million, I'm going to tell you, hey man, how you feel about debt? I don't like debt. Well, that's a problem because you ain't getting to $100 million without debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. In this book, we will go through with you and your spouse, each one of these, so you can start identifying, what are my assets? Who are my assets? Who are my clients? Which clients can buy from me and which ones do I not even want to call back ever again? Okay? What about your family members? Are they supporting your projects, your services, the book that you wrote? So we can show you how to scale the deal. You got to get there. And you got to fill the book out. I can't do that for you. We're going to give you like 5 minutes in an exercise. I'm literally going to hit a button, explain the information, hit a button. You're going to break into groups of 5, no more than 6 or 7 people in a group, right?
Usually 5 to 7.
5 to 7. And then we're going to come back from it and say, what'd you get out of that? What is your commitment? And then that group is going to hold you accountable, okay? So the website is grantcardone.com/virtual, grantcardone.com/virtual. This is a $2,900 account offer. It's probably worth, I don't know what it's worth. It's going to be worth millions of dollars.
There have been people that have already been to this boot camp, the interactive boot camp, and they're posting in the comments. Like, I've been seeing it all throughout the day to day. They're like, this was an incredible event. It was the best money. It's a ridiculous offer.
And you guys that went before, you should come back again. You'll get more out of it than people going the first time. Nobody learns anything the first time, folks. Nobody learns it all the first time, okay? The best way to learn something is to reinforce it a second time, a third time, a fourth time. You don't pray one time. You do the act of contrition over and over, man, if you want to be resolved of your sins, okay?
I have exorcised the demons.
Okay, so it's $29.97. We're going to take this last week. You just had 6 days, 7 days with me, okay? We're going to take this and package it and sell it in the future for $19.97. I'm inviting you to come spend 3 days with me for $297. Money back guarantee. If you're not happy with it, At the end of it, just say, man, it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. I didn't know Grant was going to help me this much. I didn't know he was going to force me to look at my income, my net worth, my assets. I didn't know he's going to make me sit down and understand the difference between net worth and income. I did not know he was going to do that. I did not know he was going to explain to me the difference between good debt and bad debt. I did not know he was going to make me list out my bad debt and then be held accountable and responsible for it. Because Grant put me on the freaking point, I want my money back. And we just send your money back and everything's cool, okay? All right, real quick. The website's grantcardone.com/virtual, and I want to be your coach. Listen to me. I want to help you with this, okay? A few more minutes, and then I'm going to go to Q&A. Good debt and bad debt. I just said this seconds ago. I was plagued, not by bad debt. I started my journey with $40,000 worth of debt. $40,000. In 2010, I had $52 million worth of debt, okay? I had $40,000 worth of bad debt when I started the game. I had $52 million worth of good debt in 2012, and this is what I found out. For this debt to be really good, it needs to be really big. If you want to play the debt game, folks, it's got to be big, okay? Like if you want freedom on this planet, you got to get some debt. Debt is like you're almost playing a game with the devil here. Okay, there's bad debt. The debt is I'm gonna go put some money on a credit card to buy a watch. Well, that's just stupid. That's not even bad debt. That's just stupid debt. I'm gonna go buy a fleet of trucks. I'm gonna borrow money. I'm gonna go buy 12 trucks, and I'm gonna pay 3%. The trucks are gonna cost me $600,000. Okay, I'm going to write off the entire $600,000. Bang! This year, we made $6 million net. Okay, the $600,000 worth of trucks is going to help me get the $60 million. I'm scaling now. I'm going to take the $600,000. I'm going to write it off my income. I'm going to reduce my tax bill to nothing because I'm going to accelerate the depreciation on the trucks. And I'm going to write off the 4% interest on the $600,000 worth of truck because I'm not going to put any money down. I'm going to pay $24,000 worth of interest, all of which will be written off as an expense in totality. And I'm going to take the new income because of the trucks, and I'm going to lease a car because I'm the executive of the company. I'm not going to buy a car. It's stupid to buy a car. I'm going to lease a car for 24 months, and I'm going to put it on the company's name. I'm going to write that off, and I'm going to send a little note to the IRS every year. I got you figured out, boy. Because I read the code. Now, if you guys don't want to read the entire IRS code, all you got to do is study people that have made some moves. In 2012, when I owed $52 million to the banks called and called my loan. And I went to my wife and I said, this will never happen to me again. She's like, what are you going to do different next time? I said, the next time, they're going to come to me and I'm going to owe $2 billion. Because if I owed $2 billion, not $50 million, they wouldn't be coming to me. Because everybody knows nobody's got $2 billion sitting around. Okay? So the banks now would become obligated to me. The point of the story is, and this is what Jared was talking about, first you got to have a goal. If the goals are too small, you will quit on the goals. And the only reason the goals are too small is because you don't know the contacts. That's exactly what Jared was saying. It starts mental, man. Everybody says this. It's the mindset. If you don't have a 10 million, 100 million, billion-dollar mindset, don't get this program. If you want a $100 million mindset or a $1 billion mindset, if you want the idea of freedom, not because you want cars, but because you want to take care of the people in your life. You want to take care of your community. Maybe you want to be the hero to your mother. You want to be your dad's hero. You want to do what your dad never got time to do. Maybe you want to break the cycle of this terrible cycle of poverty and scarcity we have in this country. If you want to be the person, then we got to change your mindset. I got to show you that there is $1 billion with your name on it. Annie is my personal assistant. If Annie wanted to put the plan together, Okay, Grant, I work for Grant right now. I don't know what we pay her, but it's probably not enough. Okay? And as we pay her more money, she's just going to get taxed more. And all of a sudden, she's going to be like, oh, whoa, that doesn't feel good. I'm working harder, I'm making more, and I end up actually with less, okay? So if she put her mind to it right now and said, I want to become a billionaire, she does not need to go work for somebody else to do that. In fact, that's just going to be a go backwards. She's going to get the go backwards card on that. Okay, now I got to go out. Now I don't have my base. Like you guys out there that think a job is just over broke, no, you just over stupid is what you are. Okay, study the people that got rich. Most of them did not start their own company. Paul Allen owned one of the biggest yachts on the planet, and he was the second man to Bill Gates at Microsoft. Jared's going to be rich as shit. He don't have to be the number one guy, or maybe he will be the number one guy when number one guy ain't here anymore. Okay, if he creates enough value, he will be. So it starts with a mindset. Then it starts with who. If you don't like the sales word, who's got my $1 billion? It's not like it's not on this planet. We just printed 7 trillion. So can you get it? Is it out there? Is it available? You guys, most of you guys, what you guys do, what's my idea? What's my product? My idea is this. I don't go to the manufacturing idea. That's you guys. I got an idea that's going to save the world. Good. I got an idea, and it's me becoming a billionaire. That's been my idea. And I'm going to take any route I can get there that's legal, legitimate, and within my ethical boundaries. Because my job is to create financial freedom for my household and be able to go to Portugal when I want. To be able to go down to Panama when I want, if I want to go get some real stem cells.
Hawaii.
Maybe I want to go to Hawaii and be with the coconut trees. Because look, it ain't a vacation without some sand and some coconut trees and some good old rum. And it's definitely not a vacation if you don't have friends with you. Who wants to be on a yacht by themselves? Okay? So mindset, number one, man, we got to get you guys thinking rich, and to do that, we got to undo. It's right here in this book. Okay, you'll get the book. You're going to hear it in the 10X Super Life. We're going to get you ready in the exercise. We got to get you through the portion of your mind that is dealing in scarcity and poverty. And I'm not talking about you guys that don't have any money. I'm talking about you guys that have money in a savings account. You are inflicted with poverty and scarcity. That's why you save money, and you don't even know it. You think you're saving. You think you're disciplined. You're not disciplined. You're scared. You're waiting for an emergency that will never happen, that money can't even solve. The only thing that can solve your problems is who. Who can help me today when I go to Dubai if I'm in trouble? Who can help me if I'm in Singapore? Money can't help you in Singapore, man. You ain't got enough money when you go to Dubai to get anybody's attention. Okay? Who can help me when I go to Pueblo and I'm nobody and I can't use my social media and I can't use my name and I can't show my credit card? Who can help me?
I know who can help you. Huh? I know who can help you. D's skills. That's who can help you.
Jared said D skills in this book. Okay? GrantCardone.com/virtual. It's not a book you read, by the way. This is a manual that we get you through. We're literally going to work with you and your family to create your financial plan. The 10X plan. Okay? Third thing you got to do. Once we know who, now I got to figure out, how do I market myself? How do I build my brand? That's what I hear everybody talking about today, the big topic. How do I build a brand, man? How do I build a brand? I'm going to go to Q&A right here in a second. Okay. How do I build a brand? Dude, I ain't building a brand. I'm building a life. This ain't a Grant. Grant Cardone ain't a brand. Grant Cardone is a life. I got a life, and people say, dude, look the way that guy's living. Okay, Johnny, show him the shot we took yesterday. That sick shot, Johnny. Okay, all right? Because I got 7 videographers. Okay, look at that thing. 2 pieces of equipment, 3 pieces of equipment. Many of our VIPs here that do all the projects with me. Thank you guys. You guys that always support me, always come to my programs. We put you up in my helicopters, put you on my jet. Man, I love doing that for you guys because you supported me, right? Who helped me get where I'm at? That Forbes calls the number one social media marketer in the world. Who got me where I'm at? I didn't do this by myself. There's no such thing as a self-made anything. You need people. That's why you got to learn how to communicate with people, pitch people, talk to people. What do I offer them? What is my inventory? When you start offering people inventory, you guys that are doing e-commerce, how many offers do you have? What do they start at? Hey, how many of you have an offer? Let me just challenge you. When you're marketing, by the way, your inventory is a marketing. You think marketing starts with what you're going to post on Facebook. No, it's not. It starts with your inventory. What's on your inventory? What do you have to market? First thing you should have to market is giving people something. Okay, Ty Lopez did a great job of this, of giving iPads. He built a list like that. We built a list. Part of our inventory, I'll just show you what we did on this. 150,000 people registered, 149,000 people registered for this. 14,000 people showed up for this. Let's say 1,400 people take advantage of our offer. Okay, that's maybe the simple math on the deal. This list right here, I'm going to go back, that did not buy from me. 135,000 people is how I'm going to make all the money on this program. It's not these people that pay me $297. For 7 days of information, I brought Magic Johnson, Chris Voss, Todd Peterson, Stormy Wellington, Sharon Lecter, and Kevin O'Leary to you. You can't pay them anything to go spend time with you. And they did this week. Hopefully you guys got all that, okay? Check this out. This is not where the money at. You see this right here? These people that missed this, we're gonna put this whole week together and I'm gonna sell it to them for $1,997. Marketing starts with your inventory of offers, okay? First there should be a free offer, maybe a give money to offer, then a free offer. So when I go down this line, and this is money, a money to them, then a free, okay, then a 69, a 269, a 999. It could be any of this, 1999 and $10,000. It could be $1 million. We have people that give us $5 million. We have companies that give us 20% of their growth, their top line growth as a partner. So that could become worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This is your inventory layout, okay? Me telling you about mine doesn't help you though. Okay, I'm gonna go here to page on the scaling, rapid scaling formula, page 92, and we're gonna get to this and we're gonna lay out your inventory, your scaling, your timeline, and exactly what you would have to do, the funds it would take, the people that it would take, and the positions for you to go from zero to wherever you wanna go, with whatever your product or service is. Look, today it's easier than ever because of the social media, okay? Fourth thing we gotta do is this. We gotta scale. And most people just never figure out the scale. Why? Okay, they start a small business, 32 million small businesses in America. I think like 80% of them have no employees. They got a company, they got an idea, everybody's got an idea, and they never scaled it. Why? Because they got scared. Remember the rubber band yesterday I showed you? I said, stretch this, everything's cool. Let it go, what happens? See, when you guys leave here, I give you all this information, and you're like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and snap. Tonight, you go back to being that little piece of rubber, that small thing. You shrink back. So, why are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do this? How are you gonna do this? I wanted to open up the Q&A. And then before we leave tonight, I want to share with you the financial steps that I take every day. I want to ask my VIPs and my clubhouse friends, what is it you don't know, need to know to make a decision and be part of this? What is it I've gone over maybe that you don't understand? Jared, how can we feed these questions to me?
Yeah, so I'll just start reading them out to you.
Okay, good.
Okay, so if you guys have questions for GC, then go ahead and ask them. Ashok says, hey GC, my debt's $420K mortgage for our home, which is 1.2 value now. I'm in my 50s, can't think of selling my house. We make about $100K through our education business. I like to see what could be a realistic income goal for us, and is it advisable to make use of the equity to buy real estate?
Okay, so he's got $420,000 worth of equity. He's 50 years old. I was 51 years old when I sold my house. Like I had a baby on the way. I had every reason not to sell my house. Everybody thought I was the best, coolest dude in town because everybody had their barbecues at the house. These are emotional things. Here's what Kevin O'Leary said. Don't be emotional when it comes to money or investments. Don't get emotional. If you're going to be emotional, get a dog. By the way, I wouldn't suggest you get a dog because dogs cost money. Okay, so he's 50 years old. He's got $420,000 worth of equity. What's his name? Ashok?
Ashok.
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 Dude, we
Ashok.
got to get you thinking about $40 million. Would you sell your house if we could build a $40 million business? Is he online? Can you hear me?
He's
talk to him,
on
can you?
chat, so I'm sure he's nodding his head yes right now. Yes, I would do that.
Yeah, okay, good. So, see, it starts with the target. You're not going to do anything, bro, to go from 400 to 600. Because the punishment's too much. You're like, I'm going to sell my house to go from 400 to 600. My life didn't change.
Mm-hmm.
This is why when Jared got on the train, the 10X train, we just keep talking about, bro, what would change our lives? You guys got to remember, man, some of you that are just seeing me for the first time, like 12 years ago, nobody knew my name. Nobody. I couldn't get a book deal. Okay? I could not get the book, the 10X rule. I could not get a book deal. I had to self-publish my first 2 books. Today, we put 30,000 people in a stadium in 90 days. So, like, why? How do we do that? We scaled to do that. How did you scale to do that? I scaled to do that because we wanted it so bad. And we were willing to risk it. You know? My friend Brad says, you got to risk it for the biscuit. So we just got to figure out, bro, where are you going? You want to go to 40 million? I got to get you and your spouse on the same page to say, we could take that $420,000 worth of equity. I wouldn't go buy real estate with it first. I would talk about leveraging it into your business, how we could scale your business up. So your business, what's his business making? Did he say?
100 grand a year.
Okay. We got to get your business making $1 million in net a year.
You want to maybe break down for them the flow of the sequence of investing? Like there's three steps to investing.
Yeah, so
and most people get this wrong.
Yeah, like until you created some passive income for yourself that's dependable, repeatable, and recurring. This is what it needs to be. It's got to be dependable, it's got to be indestructible, it's got to be recurring and repeatably recurring, meaning I can depend on it to recur, right? The first step is to make sure that you can save some bucket of money. I don't know, whatever the target is. $1,000 is not it. Could be 10,000, 25,000, 100,000. I know Johnny's got a bunch of cash sitting in the wall of his house. He's already proven he can save money. He does not live beyond his means. He knows how to hoard. He's got hoarding figured out. Right, Johnny? Sure do. While Johnny hoards, okay, and the rats are in the wall and the termites are eating away at his hundreds, it could have been growing. I've been telling him for years now. Okay, so what do you invest in first? They got $100,000 and $400,000 worth of equity, and I'm going to ask him, does he have discipline? Yes, I got discipline. Good. In the exercise, he's disciplined. Is his spouse on the same board? Good. And what's the game, man? What's the game? Let's say he says, I want to build a $4 million business a year. I'm at 100 grand a year. I want to build, is that what he's at, 100 grand?
Yeah.
I'm going to build a $4 million business. Other people have done it. I know I can do it. Great. We're going to take this 100 grand and with the 400 grand, and we're going to invest all of it in him first. Number one, him. We got to get him confident, man. I got to get you believing you can do this, bro. You can do this, man. Okay? Everybody's like, I'm going to take care of my mama. That ain't nothing, man. God damn, you're supposed to take care of your mama. Your big proud moment in his life, taking care of your mama. How about taking care of the whole neighborhood? Like, I took care of mama. I took care of my kid. My kid got sick. I took care of him. We went on a vacation. That ain't a fucking dream. God damn. Y'all got to think bigger than that. Like, how about taking your whole company on a vacation? Okay, number one, it's got to be you. We got to get this mindset right, man. We got to scrub out whatever you got going on that's negative. I told Jared when he came on, I said, I'm gonna teach you stuff that your daddy could not teach you. Sometimes you just can't learn from your parents anymore. And sometimes you don't want to learn from them anymore. Okay, so number one. Number two, we want to invest in your business. I don't want you to invest in my real estate. I have people call me every day, man, I want to put some money in your real estate. Dude, you need to invest in you and your business first, not my shit, my stuff. Third thing you should invest in is a real passive income situation. Indestructible. Everything that I said earlier, indestructible, repeatedly recurring. Indestructible. And that by definition is these properties that I buy. Go ahead, Jerry.
And the thing that people do incorrectly is they bounce too soon off these. So they go to a workshop and then they're like, okay, I invested in myself. Now I'm going to invest in this next business. The truth is that you have to continue to invest in yourself until you see a change, because it may not be the first thing that you come to or the third thing that you go to or the fifth thing that you come to or even the 20th thing that you come to. It could be the 21st thing. And so it's important that you continue to invest in yourself until you get to the point where you see a change in your income. And that's when you start scaling down through this ladder. Then you start pouring on investing in your business because you've developed skills that can go out and predictably grow your business.
Yeah, and Sylvia just asked Jared, hey, are the recordings part of the deal? So for you guys, do you want to do that?
For anybody who, we can do that.
Tell you, anybody that takes advantage of the offer, the grantcardone.com/virtual, I'm going to include the entire week, because right now what Jared's saying is exactly what Magic Johnson said the other day. When everybody else was going to play with the athletes, he invested in himself and went with the owners. See, but again, guys, this goes back to the who. Magic Johnson is not a salesman. Truth is, I'm not really a salesman. I am a driven individual. Mm-hmm. Me and Magic have one thing in common. We were driven to create wealth, yacht wealth. He talked about it. And everybody loved it, he said it. He said it humbly, man. Man, Grant, I love going out on a yacht for a month at a time.
30 years we've been going for a
30
month.
years he's been going on the yacht life. Why? Because you taste it once and you're ruined for life. And he's ruined in a good way, and you guys should be ruined in a good way. Okay? So, see, Magic's never been selling anything. Magic's, who do I need to know? Where do I need to be? Do I need to pay for the charity? Do I need to pay to get in? He said that. That's what you guys need to do.
Yeah.
This is what he said. Okay? Basketball player, they had to transition over. Everybody knows him right now. Why? You don't know him because of basketball. Most of you are too young. Most of you know him because of Starbucks, his play at Starbucks. What else did he do? His play.
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers. You know him because he's still relevant. Had he just ended his career with basketball only, many of you would not know him. I wouldn't have brought him on stage just because he's a basketball player. Okay? So let's do this, Jared. Everybody that takes advantage of the $297, Grant Cardone or above, there's two other offers, I think one at $497 and one at $1497. Mm-hmm. Whatever offer you take advantage of, I'm just going to give you that, the $297.
The recordings.
The recordings
both
from all
of the
week. Courses
here, the negotiating and closing class. So if you've invested, you get access to all the bonuses that we've talked about.
Zoom user says to everyone with no name, dude, first thing we got to do is you can never beat a Zoom user, bro. Like, what are you doing? You're making a major mistake in your marketing. Okay, I have $15,000 in cash, was going to look for a partner to start with 16 units. Your thoughts? Yes, that's a great idea. How he could play the game is he'd take 15, multiply times 10, now he's got 150. Or he could take 15, walk up to a guy, I'll show you exactly how to make this play. Take his 15, walk up to a guy like me, hey man, I got 15, I found a property, I got 15, I got a bicycle paid for, I got a motorcycle that's paid for, I got a pair of tennis shoes, Nike shoes I've never used that are worth about $600, and I'll give it all. I'll sweat equity the deal, be the manager. I'll work every day for nothing, and would you put the $2 million in? I'll do the rest of the work. And he would be sweat equity on a deal. We'll talk about that in our interactive boot camp. It's grantcardone.com.
And how your first partner made $10 million doing that.
Yeah, the first guy I did deals with made about $12 million actually as the sweat equity in my deals because I needed a partner. I had the money, I had the credit, I had the interest, I was qualified, willing, and able. I just didn't have the time to manage the property. Everybody needs a partner, by the way. Rich people need partners. I only have so much time, right? Okay, Magic said, this is from DT Ambassador. Magic said, and I want to hear from some of the Clubhouse people because I can hear them.
Okay.
Magic said, find people smarter than you. He also said this, find people richer than you. And then he said, find people with yachts and planes that you want to be like. Okay? Let me ask, any of my friends on Clubhouse got a question here?
Put up the volume. I think it's low.
Let me get a random question.
Oh, because they got it over there on the phone.
There, take it off.
Okay.
Let me see while I'm looking, while you guys come up with something.
Hey, Grant, I'll come up with a question for you, boss.
Go ahead.
Yeah, David Hill here. So, a lot of people know, Grant, what they should be doing. Like, they set a goal, and they know they should be doing it, and they plan to do it, yet they don't do it. What do you think is the thing that gets in the way of people not doing what they know they should be doing.
Two things. The question is, thank you, David. Two things, okay? People that don't do what they know they should be doing. Number one, you have too much information. You have conflicting data. It paralyzes people. Most of you have too many coaches and listen to too many people. When I go into some of these rooms and I hear stuff that conflicts with what I know to be true, I just end it. Like, I don't listen to it. I never listen to any of it. Like, some people think, hey man, you're kind of closed-minded. Yeah, I am kind of closed-minded to bullshit and ignorance and stupidity and scarcity and poverty and limitations and ignoramuses that think they know everything. So I'm very selective about what I hear. Number two, accountability, man. David, you need somebody to say, hey, bro, you said you were going to do this. I got it written down. There's 5 of us in the group that heard the same thing. This is why masterminds are so important. Sitting with 5 people in a meeting, me, Jared, Brandon, Sherry, my wife, and we're like, this is what we're going to do. And then all of a sudden, each of the parties goes about their way and doesn't do what they said they were going to do. Come on, man. Bro, you said you were going to do X. You said we were going to hit target. We didn't hit targets. Yeah, well, this happened, that happened. That's bullshit. We said we were going to do this. We are going to do this. So, like, the thing that people, I think, find, thank you, David, that was a great question. The thing I think people ask me probably the most is, how do you stay so motivated, man? Like, bro, because I got targets, son. And I'm being held accountable by my public persona, right? So I have a target, and then I tell everybody, I'm going to knock out $1 billion worth of deals before the end of the year. Some of you saw the Lewis House interview I did, where Lewis has said, why don't you do, what are you doing, Grant? I said, I don't know, I'm doing like $90 million deals. And he's like, why don't you do 10 times that? I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good question, bro. You know, let me get that handled. Let me get that shit handled. Thank you, Lewis. And next thing you know, I cracked a $900 million deal. You cannot find it if you ain't looking for it, folks. Okay, write this down. You put the target down. You write the target down. Okay, and you reinforce the target. And then what you do is you back up the target with money. And I mean money you don't have. Every guy that I know a friend of mine named Bob, he cracked $4.4 billion in a sale. He walked away with 4.4 in his pocketos. I saw it. I know it's real. I know it's true. Okay? I said, Bob, how far did you go to get it? He's like, look, I had a target. Okay? I reinforced it every single day. And I had $25 million worth of cash and debt on the line. If it didn't work, I'd have got wiped out. Every guy I know says this. Tesla, the Tesla boy. He went all in, man. Everything, every single penny. See, what do you guys do? Y'all listen to the financial planner that says, you need to have an emergency account, okay? I remember they asked Stallone, what he thought about plan A and plan B. Was it Arnold or it was Stallone, right? Not Arnold. What happened to Arnold anyway?
I don't know, man. Too
Man,
much
what
time in
happened to that
California.
guy? Okay. Creatine got to his mind. He went from
They
Terminator
were more
to
than
hater.
creatine to get those muscles.
He went from Terminator to freedom hater, man. Okay, so Stallone said, "Man, I don't have Plan B, man. I got a Plan A. Plan B is a way to make sense of plan to bail out on Plan A. It might have been Schwarzenegger. I got to give him credit for this one. Then something went wrong. Something went wrong. So what I'm saying to you is, you guys got to reinforce your targets with time and money. Okay, October 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Put it on your calendar. Oh, I'm not available on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Okay, well, I am. I'm available. A lady asked me last night, she's like, I'll do your event, but can I come meet with you in person? Sure. Come at 6 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. You can come hang out at my place. I got to work. Okay, well, you're not committed. You want to do this with me? You want to be in person with me for 3 days? Get here at 6 in the morning. You come to my house, bring me a cup of coffee, help me get dressed, you shower me, wash me up, okay? Feed me, take me to the event, hang out with me every day, okay? Every time I need something, you come hug me out, hug it out with me, do whatever. And then all the way to 9, she's like, I got a job, Grant, I can't do that. I said, well, then you're not committed. You want to come do an in-person, anybody that wants to come wash me, towel me off, feed me, take care of me, love me, man, this thing's going to get bombed now. I'll do that shit. I want to shadow you. Okay? All right? So check it out, October 22nd, 23rd, 24th. But you can't do those dates until you get this material. Hit the link. I'm going to immediately send you 10X Super Life. Then I'm going to send you the Marketing Mastery Program. And then I'm going to send you Closing and Mastery. It's a 5-hour program. I need you to spend 5 hours on that program, get through the material.
It's wizardry, this negotiating course. The negotiating course is worth 10 grand all day long.
All day.
Like, without a second thought. It's
You can buy it on
literally
my website.
wizardry.
Yeah, you can buy it on my website for $2,500. It's worth $10 million. I'm telling you, like, it's brilliant. And you get to keep these programs forever. And then join me October 22nd, 23rd, 24th. I'm just trying to make this impossible for you guys to say no to.
And if at the end they think it's garbage and it was worth nothing and they learned nothing, we'll give you a money back guarantee, and he's still going to donate the money to the charity.
Yeah. So I know there's some of you out there uncertain because you gave up on the dream. I know that. I know you guys did. And if you're by yourself and you believe in the dream, I'll bet you money that your spouse has given up on the dream. It's very, very difficult to find two people together that both believe in the dream, the same dream. Because most people will be happy with a picket fence and a couple of beautiful kids and a couple cars paid for. That ain't what this is, folks. If you want to be comfortable, that program is not this program. This program is about wealth attainment. It is about mega financial freedom. It is about FU money. It is about go where you want, do what you want. It's about, hey, I don't give a shit what we spent to fly across the country. Okay? Right now, a lot of people are getting their shit in order. And there's a lot of people getting their asses handed to them. They're being forced to do things right now at rates we have never seen in the history of this country. People are being forced to do things. And if they don't do it, they got to take their kids out of school. If they don't do it, they're going to lose their jobs. If they don't do it, they got to go into a different room. Man, this is a different place right now. I got a friend, she is being segregated. She's been working in the same field for 17 years. And for the first time in 17 years, she is being segregated to a different, you don't have to do it, but we have to put you in this room over here, away from everyone else. That is weird. Now, if she had 10 or 15 or 20 million bucks put away, if she had 30,000 bucks a month coming in from passive income from, I don't know, real estate or a business or intellectual property or who knows. I mean, there's a million ways to get it. She'd probably be like, you know what? Hey, man, you know what? This is time for me to go.
Peace.
Peace. You know, do you want to know if I got it? Yeah.
Bang.
There, I got it. Peace out. Okay, I'm over. All right, over you. All right,
Peace
okay. Grant, how do we
party
study
gift.
billionaires, the most successful people in companies like you advise to learn this money game and how to win, avoiding taxes? Okay, again, like guys, you guys got to come up with a tax plan, man. How do you reduce your tax bill to zero? Your biggest expense in business, your biggest expense at the household level is your taxes. How do you get rid of that? Through asset purchases. You got to buy assets. You got to get your income goal to $0 or $1 and make sure your passive income explodes to take care of your lifestyle. People, you don't have to be brilliant to do this, but you do need to know the strategy, okay? Scaling, okay? Grant, I'm working on scaling right now. Michael's working on scaling. To scale, you got to have somebody hold your hand. Because here's the problem with scaling. One of the most often used words on the internet, okay? To scale. Scaling is a multiplier, right? So what are you going to scale? You're going to scale people, you're going to scale advertising, you're going to scale your customers, and you're going to scale your inventory or services or service deliveries. So if I'm going to scale people, guess what they cost? In Miami, somebody needs to probably make $80,000, just $80,000 a person. We have 169 employees here at this one location. So just do the math. What is that? It's $13.5 million. Is that right?
I think it's more than that.
Huh? It's more than that?
Yeah,
We spend more than that in salaries?
I think so.
God damn, scaring the hell out of me, man. You got all these guys on the internet, hey man, I make this much money, I make that much. But dude, how much money do you spend, bro? Okay, you make $10 million and you're the only person? That ain't scaling, you ain't scaled yet. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen forever. That ain't scaling, folks. I know you don't wanna hear this. And if you're not willing to hear this, I don't wanna make you wrong. I'm feeling like Chris Voss right now. You feeling some pressure right now?
Seems like something crossed your mind right there.
Seems like something crossed your mind right there. But look, man, you know, this is a business. This is a real business here. You have to pay other people. Otherwise, you're going to be doing all the work. People, advertising. What are we going to spend, Jared, in advertising? Michael, this is where
probably
you need...
20 million this year.
In advertising. Okay, there's 20 million in advertising. That's going to these companies that are already richer than anybody should be, okay? Then I got customers. Hey man, how do you take care of a customer? Customer complaints, customer returns, customers bitching, customers' cards that go bad, customers confused. How you take care of that? It takes money. I got 40 employees back there. All they do every day is answer phone calls of customers. They're like, I can't find my link. Okay? And then what do we got? We got other services. Other services like many of you that show up for this event, grantcardone.com/virtual. I'm gonna put you on a stage. Now I gotta get liability insurance. I'm gonna put you in my helicopter when you come down to Miami because I'm gonna blow your shit up. Okay? When you go from making $1 million a year to $15 million a year, I'm gonna be like, hey Alan, man, I heard about what you did, bro. Come in early. I wanna do some video with you. I'm gonna bring you into my studio. Okay, then I'm gonna take you out to my helicopter and I wanna put you on your social. I'm gonna blow your social up. We just had 15 people at my house. We just literally pick people, come to my house. Okay, because of your success, come hang out with me. And we do video and we have people over at the house and somebody falls and hurts them. I gotta have insurance. I gotta put you in a helicopter, I gotta have fuel. Okay, so this is customer service right here. What do you guys have funded for that? When you scale, Michael, you're gonna need somebody to have you and your wife get you to the edge of the cliff, bro. Put the plan together. I don't want you to make up the plan as you jump off. That's just crazy. You need a plan, then you need to get to the edge of the cliff, and then you're gonna need me right there with you to say, we're gonna jump, bro. Okay? And you're not jumping with yourself. I'm gonna jump with you. My team's gonna jump with you, and we're gonna walk you through it, okay? Lastly, let me just finish with this. This is really important. I wanna share with you guys, because I'm being asked this right now. The financial actions I take every day. And this is how do you stay on track with the dream? Because it ain't gonna happen this weekend. How do you stay so that Monday, Tuesday, next week, Wednesday, the October the 7th, October the 15th, okay? When Halloween comes, you're like, I'm going to get candy corn, okay? You're doing candy corn rather than like, wait, bro, what about the goals, bro? What are we gonna wear for Halloween? And in November, you guys understand the last 3 months of the year are the shortest 3 months of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? October's worth about 28 days. If you worked every one of them, including Sunday, I do that. I'm going to have to deal with God on that one. He's going to be like, you worked a lot of 7 days, bruh. Sure did. And I did a lot of good for a lot of people, brother. Okay? So October's about 28 days if you work the way I do. November, you're cut back to about 14 days because of Christmas. It's not because of my actions, it's because of yours. You guys are traveling all over the place, okay? Going to be with your parents that don't even buy your shit. Just kidding, okay? You're going to buy, I just bought 100 turkeys for Kita on a Clubhouse. Did she hit you?
She hit me up.
Okay, and so we're donating to a bunch of families for Turkey Day, the people that can't take care of themselves. Christmas is worth what, Jared? Maybe 7 days?
Well, I mean, dude, I know industries that like the 15th of December, they take off from there through New Year's.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a worthless month basically. And it's a great time if you got your game on to kick Santa's ass. However, most of you don't because you're distracted by Christmas gifts, Christmas, dinners, eating too much, November, the Thanksgiving thing, the Halloween thing, and you're lost, okay? How do you stay on the game? Okay, this is what I do every day. This is a little tip for you. Number one, I look at my finances every day. First thing delivered to me every day, the first email I get every day I remember hearing Damon John say, man, he doesn't look at his emails first thing in the day because it puts him in effect. I'm like, first thing I do is look at emails. I said, make sure the first email I see every day is how much money I have today. Some of you hate that idea. You're like, he's so focused on money. Yes, ma'am, I am. Why am I focused on money? Because I have found after 63 years, it is the single thing, in addition to oxygen, food, water, I have to deal with money every day. If I can't deal with the money every day, I can't buy oxygen, food, or water. Okay, there's people that cannot literally provide food for their family. They cannot find good water. So that's why I look at my finances every day. I'm looking at I get basically an account of cash, every cash account I have every day. The reason I'm looking at that every day is if I don't look at it, I can't make it better. For you guys have been waiting for your big takeaway. 2 hours you've been listening to this. Clubhouse, Instagram, Zoom. Dude, if you can't look at it, confront it, stare it down. I've been doing this since it was zero. I remember when I had one account and it was zero and I had $40,000 of liabilities. And I said, one day I'm going to have hundreds of accounts and every one of them is going to be loaded with money. And my problem is going to be, what do I do with this money? Not this problem. This is one problem. This is ridiculous. I'm in debt and have no money. And this one right here, oh, I'm sitting on 125 million in cash, and Sunday afternoon I'm gonna go work. You guys build that kind of motivation, that kind of muscle, that kind of discipline, there ain't no way you're ever gonna be broke again.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And you're gonna be dangerous, and people are gonna respect you, and then people are gonna ask questions about you. Dude, why is that guy still working on a Sunday?
You remember when we went to that one CEO's office? We were up north, and we were walking through. We had a tour of their facility, their headquarters, and we walked into the guy where he handles all of his real estate investing.
Yeah.
And we went up on the screen, and that same thing, that's the number that he had, total cash.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah. What do I got? A billionaire taught me this. The guy that I told you about that had the 4.4. I said, how often you look at this? He showed it to me. I said, how often you look at it? He said, I look at it every day, Grant. If I don't look at it, I can't control it. If I control it, I can move it. I can move it. I can decide what to do with it. Okay? If you're not looking at it, folks, it's going to disappear. Money is like like a jealous lover. If you ignore the lover, she will find someone else to sleep with. You ignore the person you love, and they will find some other bed to be in. And you deserve that because you ignored that. If you ignore this, it will go spend time with somebody that will pay attention to it. This is why Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, this is why MetLife, New York Life, because they pay attention and you don't. You spend 12 years learning how to count, read, write, do English, and fucking home study, whatever the hell that course was. And then you don't spend any time on money. So every day, not just this day, and by the way, when you do this course with us, we're going to get an agreement before you leave that you're going to start looking at money every single day. When I drop these exercises on you and I get you into the 10X Super Life, grantcardone.com/virtual, it's going to start telling you, I need you to look at your money today. I need you to look at your accounts. If they're bad, I need you to look at them. I need you to keep looking at them until we change them. Because if you're not going to confront them, they're not going to grow, okay? So when I look at this account, by the way, once I look at it, get control of it, then my job is to what do I want to do with this money? Because it's dying, you understand? I learned this when I was in a produce store when I was 16 years old, 15 years old, man. The produce manager said, look, man, you got to look at the produce every day, bro. I still do this with our company today. What are our assets? What's going bad? What do you mean what's going bad? What's about to expire?
The bruised banana.
What's the bruised banana, bruh? Why? Because we need to take it and move it up front, okay? Like, Grant, how do you keep your attention on all this stuff going on in your life? All I do is handle the bananas that are going bad. That one little thing I learned from that guy. So the billionaire taught me, look at your finances, look at your assets. The produce manager, hey man, make sure you get that stuff that's going bad to the front of the store so people can buy it. Drop the price, get rid of it while it's still worth something, okay? Same with cash, by the way. Cash is garbage. Anybody that doesn't think this is garbage is either real rich and waiting for a moment. I don't mean you got $5 million. I'm talking about 80 million, 100 million in cash. You're trying to make a move, so you're accumulating cash to make a big move. Most of which of you will be wrong about the move, even the rich people. Rich people don't do like that. They're in. They're always in the game, okay? So look at your finances, number one, okay? Remember, this is trash. It is being depleted and depreciated. And if you keep it, they will get it, okay? So number two thing I'm gonna do that day, 95% of my day as an individual household member in control of the finances and also as a business owner and a manager of a department at my company, whether it's the real estate, our event business, our book business, our online business, Cardone Ventures, or
Incubator.
10X Incubator, any of the enterprises that I'm involved in, okay? 95% of my time is spent invested on targets and the attainment of that target. Okay? 95% of my time is invested in the production of the goals necessary to produce more assets. I'm going to repeat that. 95% of my time in a day, maybe 98, is spent on those activities that will produce or move me toward the goal, Jordan Peterson. Happiness comes from the attainment of a goal, the forward movement, the production of new assets to buy new assets, okay? So that's where 95% of my time is spent on who can help me reach my targets. So I'll come into Jared. Hey, Jared, what's our target on that webinar? Okay, good. What's the target on the growth conference? Good. What's the target? I go to Ryan. Hey, man, I start looking at all these things, all these lists of things that I have to do that day. The only things I deal with on any given day are the ones where we have a pin pulled from the grenade. Okay, man, you got 30 minutes before this one blows. You got 30 days before this one blows. And in 3 months, this nuclear weapon is going to go off. Okay, I'm not worried about the nuclear weapon right now. I'm worried about that one that's got 3 minutes left on the grenade about to pop off, okay? 3, target clarification. This is every day I'm doing this. And I'm doing this with no effort now, just like Chris Voss talked about. He talked about the Zen, no effort. Okay. By the way, we're going to give you guys to take advantage of grantcardone.com/virtual. I'm going to give you the Monday interview with Kevin O'Leary, Tuesday, the Sharon Lecter interview, the Magic Johnson interview. These are 1-hour presentations. I'm going to give you the Chris Voss interview, the Jordan Peterson interview, and the Stormy Wellington.
Kevin O'Leary.
Just the one Stormy Wellington interview, promise you is worth the money. I'm going to give you all that, the 10X Super Life program, the Marketing Mastery program, the workbook, and the 5-hour, talk about a sensei program, the Grant Cardone Mastering the Close program, okay? So target clarification, okay, what am I doing every day on target clarification? Number one, what are the targets? We'll walk through this with you at the virtual boot camp. Number 2, who can attain that? That's not a customer, by the way, inside. Can Johnny help me do that? Nah, Johnny can't help me. You guys got to find out. We got 7 people on a video team in here. I want to go attain a target. I want to kill something, right? I want to finish a deal up. Johnny's not my guy. Johnny's the guy that's going to shoot video with me this weekend. You got any of that video, Johnny? That was some sick video. Why don't you show it to them before anybody else? Can you? Or it's too hard? I'll try. That was ridiculous, okay? Who? I go to Sabrina. I can get a hug from Sabrina. I can get some love, I can have some fun with her, but she can't attain my target today, right? Or maybe she can, okay? Number 3, what can I do? What can I do to accelerate into the future and reach into the future and pull it toward me? This is what we do at my company, like magically. We've done events where everybody says, bro, you need like 9 months to do that. We did it. One of them we did in 22 days. The entire world went crazy. Everybody that knows what I do, they're like, it's impossible. But how many days did we do it? Am I exaggerating, 22 days, or was it more than that?
The first one?
Yeah.
It was 72 days.
72 days.
Yeah.
72 days, we did an event. We had never even done an event. We didn't know what we were doing. Sometimes, ignorance is a little bliss as long as you got determination and you got the buy-in of the team and everybody believes in the dream. Okay, target clarification. This is how you stay motivated. This is how you don't quit. How many of you'd like to have this freaking neurosis? Target attainment, target clarification. Who is it? What is it? When is it? Okay, and what is the priority of targets? This is called priority intelligence, and very few people have priority intelligence. Like most people don't have emotional intelligence, and most people don't have financial intelligence. So once you get financial intelligence and you get emotional intelligence and then you get priority intelligence, guess what? You're a mean, lean, killing machine, okay? And now you're the provider of your family. Now you're the hero of your company. So regardless of who you are and where you are, regardless of how you've been brought up, look, everybody listen to this right now. Everybody's got a reason. Everybody's got an excuse. Everybody's got a problem. Everybody's got liabilities, but everybody has a dream. You have a dream, and that dream requires finances. If your dream has anything to do with freedom, choices, options, moving, I want to be happy. I don't want to compromise my integrity over and over and over again. And look, I have compromised my integrity in my lifetime. Just want to be honest with everybody. When I've had to compromise my integrity, and I'm not saying I should have, but every time I've compromised my integrity in my entire lifetime, it is because I was under financial pressure. Every time. Every time I've done business with somebody that I didn't want to do business with, or I accepted a deal that I didn't want to accept, or like Chris Voss was saying yesterday, I was trying to get something for nothing, which I've made a mistake at a lot of times, man, trying to buy a deal for less than it was worth, okay? Every time I've ever done that in my life, it was because of financial ignorance, okay? Financial intelligence that was lacking. In the last 12 years, man, I've had some major breakthroughs, and I want to share those with you. I want to share them with you. You deserve to have the competence and intelligence that wealthy people have. You got to commit to it, though. GrantCardone.com/virtual. The offer is ridiculous. Can't make it any better than that. Tonight, we're going to take out the mastering program and the 10X Super Life and the recordings and the negotiating and closing program. We're going to remove those, and we're going to double the price.
So, and a couple people asked about that. So what happened is we had some people that had purchased the recording and weren't on yesterday. So we had about 85 emails this morning from people going, hey, you guys didn't, give me the opportunity to take advantage of it. So that's why we extended the pricing. But tonight's the night. We're gonna remove all the bonuses from the offer, and so tonight's the night. It's the last day you can get it.
So I'm tapping into FOMO right now. Okay, fear of missing out. This is it now. I've given you 7 days. I've been very generous with my time. Been very generous with my friends, my connections, my celebrities, the really powerhouse people. I've been very, very generous. My team has. Every day this week, somebody's been here after 6 o'clock at night to support you and help you. I want to help you, okay? The programs are here. I've spent 30 years putting this together. The last 12 years on the financial freedom piece. I want to help you. You're the only one that can click the button. I can't do that. We've also included a guarantee. If for any reason you're unhappy, bang, you just call us up. Hey man, I didn't get my $297 back. I'm gonna spend 3 days with you. If you guys don't want to do it virtual and you want to come in person, what are we gonna do for that? We're gonna put together like 20 people in the room with us.
The baller
room. What did we do those for last time? $25,000?
Yep.
25 grand. Call my office tomorrow or email Alan@GrantCardone.com or Annie@GrantCardone.com. 25,000 bucks. You get the whole program and you get to sit in the live.
We're only going to have, we
10,
only have
maybe
the
10
ability to do 10 people
Yeah.
live. So you're going to be in a small group of 10
Johnny,
people.
can you show him? Is Johnny still there? He's not there. He's going to show you this setup. It's about $3 million we spend. I'm basically wrapped in cameras. No, not cameras, but cameras and screens.
Screens, yeah.
So most of this room around me is wrapped in 20 inch,
LED
16 to
screens.
20 inch LED
Yeah.
screens, okay? So I can see everybody that's on the platform. I'll know you by name, okay? Like I'm looking at a Zoom right now, I can see Manuel, Derek, Jane. The difference is on this piece of technology, I can click a button and connect 5 people to 7 people at a time and say, here's your exercise, go in the room, you have 7 minutes. Can't do that in a live event, it's impossible. Okay, if I break a live event, say, okay, guys, break out into groups of 5, dude, I'll spend an hour and a half just getting everybody back in their chair. You just can't do it. With technology allows me actually to teach better when you're not there. But for you guys that want to come hang out with Uncle G, $25K, 3 days. Any of you that want to do something private with me, 1 hour, $100,000, all of it goes to my foundation, Grant Cardone Foundation. If you want personal coaching from me, I'm not $1,000 an hour. I'm $100,000, and I'll do it, but I don't know why you'd want to do it. Like,
But we have people to do it.
We have people to do it, and it's cool if you would, and if I can make it work in my schedule, I'll do it. But really, what I want to do is I want to help people. I don't want to help one person that's got $100,000. I want to help a bunch of people. And we made this affordable for you guys. And we put the guarantee in. And you need to get started tonight because we're less than 20 days away from the event. GrantCardone.com/virtual. I want to help you with your financial intelligence, your emotional intelligence, and your priority intelligence. If you don't fix those 3 things, folks, we're in a weird time right now on this planet. Weird. Like if you guys don't think this is a weird time, then, because I'm worried. My daughter came to me 2 days ago and said, Papa, when I grow up, is the world going to be a terrible place? That's Sabrina. Hey, when I grow up, Papa, is the world going to be a terrible place? I said, baby, I tell you what, I don't know. I don't really know the answer to that. I know it's not going to be terrible for me. Okay, I don't know what you're going to do. You got some decisions to make when you grow up. But I can tell you the world's not getting better for most people. It's getting worse. And I'm not to be a naysayer, but I'm just a critical fact. Like, hey man, doesn't look like most people are doing well to me. People losing their jobs, firemen and policemen and military people, nurses and teachers. This is freaking insanity. Okay, it's crazy, man. Bankers are calling me. Hey man, I'm being forced to do something I don't want to do, man. I might be losing my job October 6th. I said, yeah, I'm with you, bro. What are you going to do? Well, I don't know what to do. Well, you know what you need to do? You need to get your shit together, bro. You guys need to start moving in the direction of wealth, because people that have wealth, they aren't affected like this. They go where they want. They do what they want with the people they want as long as they want. If you have the commitment, put it in the chat. If you have the commitment, if you're watching on YouTube, put it in the chat. I'm committed, man. If you're committed to financial freedom, you need to understand that's not about income. It's not about rich either. It's about creating wealth. And why would you have it if nobody taught you how to get it? Very few people know how to play the wealth game.
Yeah.
And even fewer people that have achieved the wealth game are willing to share it with you. I'm going to share 3 days with you. I need you to get through these programs to prepare yourself for the 3 days. My name's Grant Cardone. I hope you take advantage of this. My whole team's here. We love you guys. We believe in you. I want to blow your game up. I want to show you off on my stage. We're looking for at least 25 people out of this event, by the way, that we're going to bring on our stage in March and literally bring you up and show you off to 40,000 people, both in the room and around the world. We do the largest events in the world. It's called 10X Growth Conference. So I need October, November, December, January, February, March. I'm going to work with you for 6 months, if you'll let me. And hopefully for those of you that are super committed, go to the next level and execute on this information, this training, this emotional and financial intelligence. And I can show you off on my stage in March, okay? Look, I did it in 3 months. You give me double that, we're going to make some millionaires. I hope you're one of them.
Dang, bruh.